That's not going to be good. Oh no, volume's alright. What is happening in there? JGamer Dude here with some more Final Fantasy XIV. And I am jumping into the Shadowbringers expansion now that I finally actually made it into there. It's been a hot minute since I last streamed. I think it's been like a week. But I think I was like spending most of that time getting... damn, what's it called? What is it called? The Fates sorted out for the PS4 trophy list. So I was grinding out my 1000 Fates, and now I've switched over to the PS5 version and obviously having a different list altogether. So having a completely different trophy list and then asking me to do 3000 Fates at the very least, like my progress carries over. So nobody wants to, like, you know, sit down and watch me do 1000 Fates, and to be completely honest, those 1000 Fates took a long ass time. Like, it was kind of painful to kind of just sit through, to be completely honest. Like, that was a grind. That was definitely a grind that I kind of wish I didn't have to sit through. But yeah. So now that I think pretty much I hit like the end of, or as close to the end of the in-between content of Stormblood and Shadowbringers, and so now I'm finally in Shadowbringers proper, and just kind of going through Alpha Node. So we've kind of arrived into a completely different world now by using a single object in our world as like a catalyst to teleport us there. And so now we have the choice of either doing Alizé's quests or Alpha Nodes, which is an option that you get at the beginning, or once you've done the first couple of introductory quests. And so we're going through Alpha Node's storyline at the moment, and I've done the first few, so I think we're a good ways through it. I'm just trying to think of fickle existence. Okay, so I'm doing a fickle existence right now. Yeah, no, I was just checking to see when the first side quests are available for me to pick up the to tune with the ether current, so I can learn, so I can fly with my mount around here. Oh, well and good. So this is the first quest that'll give me it, so after this MSQ. So at the moment, what are we doing? So we figured out that we need to get back to our own world because every one of the Scions is trapped in this world that we've traveled to. And before we can actually go back, we need to A, meet up with everyone, B, figure out a way to get back, and 3, avoid a catastrophe whereby this world that we're in and our original world don't combine and cause another calamity. And having gone through that once, I feel like that's not ideal to have so many people in the world die after two worlds kind of collide into each other and attempt to become one. Though then again, I don't think the Big Bang would be enough to even begin to describe what the heck is going on here. But yeah. Also, it's been a hot minute since I've actually visited new areas, so having to go through and, you know, attune with all of the ether currents and everything, it does take a moment to really, you know, travel across from location to location. But I've got more than enough guild to get me from place to place, which is neat. And so this world that we're in at the moment is referred to as the I was about to say the thirst. It's the first. Yeah, the first. That's what I meant to say. Alright, so we are looking for Wait for the minstrel at the designated location. Yeah, we're at the very edge, so there it is. Whenever they give you like a spot, like an area to look through, and you're like, you have to go to this spot. Search surrounding for a male minstrel with short blue hair. Zoom in and out. So we're looking for someone with short blue hair. That's our man. I mean, that was a lot easier than in between the expansions we had to like shoot sheep. I don't know, did we shoot like paralyzers, or was it to make them go to sleep? We were shooting at sheep, and I don't know if it was making them fall asleep or paralyzing them. But anyway. I've completely lost the plot thread on why we're actually chasing this Mistel dude. This Mistel individual. Oh, where am I going? Eyes right there, fickle existence. Also, with the whole road to 80 that's going on at the moment, so like double XP on all of the quests that I do. At the moment, I'm leveling up my Arcanist, Summoner, Scholar, whatever you want to call it, to be honest. That is my class of choice to focus on, because I've already got one class at 80. I'm sure I can get a couple more, or a handful more to 80. Granted, I've got like maybe 5 classes in the level 70 area.
On my behalf. Hand it over. Well, forgive me. I have to get in. I have no family, and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. No matter what I do, they won't. Thought maybe I could steal your idea. Kai Shir.
Tell me then, Kai Shir, must it be Yulmore or nothing?
So just to kind of provide a little bit of background, but this place called Yulmore is a city where people get chosen to live the remainder of their life in complete luxury, and so people would do anything to be able to get in.
They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a...
But of course they just randomly pick people whom they need. But who knows what's actually going on in there.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmorans' interest.
You'll give me your place?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
So we're going to meet with the Sahagin,
This was but one path.
Well, I suppose it's being called
but for
the
young
Ondo
Kai
here
it
in
was
this
the
world.
difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit we strive to bring swift salvation to this world. that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless?
It's funny how Alphino talks at the moment about this world, because this is the world that prior or earlier on in the story, the warriors of darkness actually came from this world. And they were cast out because the world was pretty much evaporated or almost destroyed by the existence of light.
Were a Stinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alphino.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it. Shall we return to Ride then?
Also, this world where characters have been whisked up in, especially in the last few MSQ before the beginning of Shadowbringers.
Is that?
Some characters have spent as little as a year in this world in their time, whereas like in our world's time it's a lot slower, like a lot slower. To as much as some characters like Urianger having spent 5 years here, which is absolutely wild. So I do want to see. No, Urianger actually.
Sure, but I think someone's in trouble.
Someone was definitely here for 5 years. I just can't remember who exactly. Might be Thancred.
Come on, they make.
Because he was first to go. So you gotta wonder how much older everyone has kind of gotten. In any case, let's jump on a mountain. Let's get moving. The one thing that I definitely want to point out compared to the PS4 version is that the game supports 4K, which is really neat. So the game looked a hell of a lot better when I actually jumped in. I thought, is it just me or does everything look a lot crisper? Does everything look a lot nicer to look at? And then I noticed some things being bigger, some of my shortcuts were all over the place, but you know what? I wasn't too bothered by it. I can get used to like where the things are here. I could always swap them back after the fact anyways, if need be the case. But the most noteworthy thing about the changes is the PS5 version of this game has haptic feedback. As I'm walking right now, I can actually feel the vibrations in the controller. And that is cool. I don't know why. It just feels right. When you're in the duty finder and then the countdown begins to say, you know, we found a party, do you want to continue, wait, or I can't remember the other one, I think it was abandon, was the third option. And with every second, like, the controller vibrates. Like, there's a bunch of things like that. At the menu, when you hit start on the menu, and then everything turns into light, and during that time the controller vibrates. Like, it's weird stuff, but it feels like it was well put together. It was very well thought out, the way they used haptics. When I'm like flying on the back of my mount, especially if it's a bird, you can feel the vibrations with every swoop of their, like every time they move their wings, or if you're going upwards but their wings aren't moving, like you're going up at like a maybe like 10-degree angle from facing upwards directly. It's wild. It's good stuff. I did not expect that at all, but it is a welcome addition. It adds a lot more, it doesn't add a lot more to the game, but adds enough to the game, not making it feel anywhere near the same as playing on PS4. Granted, even though it is the exact same game. God, I'm going absolutely hog wild on like just some real unnecessary things, but it feels good. It feels good as well, I would say. So we found a guy who's nearly dead on the sidewalk. Not the sidewalk, the beach. That's what I meant to say. He was invited into the city and he's just sitting out here? What the heck happened? Looks like things aren't as perfect as people make them out to be around here. Okay. So you could quite easily get rejected about as much as you could be invited in. Sup, Death Hollow? Alrighty then. Still though, he got catapulted from on high. This poor bastard that's just like washed up. Yeah, I'm enjoying the plots really well so far, Death Hollow. Like, legit, man. We find ourselves in another world, and this time we didn't get hit by a truck. Instead, what happened? We touched a coin that was on the ground, and then that somehow flung us into another dimension altogether. It's definitely been good so far, like, for sure. There's a lot of unexpected things going on. To think that, like, some of the characters you were, like, with for just a little bit managed to spend years in this other world, and then in your world you're like, huh, it's only been like a month since, you know, these poor buggers collapsed, and have never been heard from again. It definitely seems really good so far, man. Like I haven't really jumped that deep in just yet, because between Alphino and Alizé's plots, I figured I'd choose Alphino's first, and so yeah, I'm still trying to like get a little bit into it, but hopefully we get to see a little bit more of the Warrior of Darkness, because this is the world that he belongs, or the world that he's from. So I'm very interested to see like what this place is like a lot more. And this is like one of like a bunch of regions as well. When what's his face showed the map. Really? I wonder if it would have been any more different if you did choose to do Alizé's first. Like, it would be interesting to see, would the story be any differently paced, I wonder? It does make you wonder, like, when you're given choices, how do you like do one part of a story versus the other? Like, which way is the best way to go? That genuinely is one way to think about what makes a good story. Does it make sense? Are you not, like, you know, giving out too much information about one particular thing over another? Probably should have. I keep using Rose Lana by accident as my choice of mount, because I normally fly from place to place, but I haven't gotten the ability to fly yet, so I'm just getting back into just moving. Horseback seems to be like the quicker option over Chocobo, it seems. Not all herding around NPCs and giving breaking the player base up. No, that's a good point, Death Hollow. Like, that does make sense. But to me, like, like logically it makes sense. To me it doesn't, only because I'm playing on a fairly empty data center, because this is the new Oceania data center that Square recently opened up after being able to sell copies of the game again. So I feel like I haven't really seen massive crowds yet. Oh yeah, and let me tell you, the benefits that I got, which was I had 30 days free time for buying the game initially, which was neat, like a month, and I'm like, cool. After reaching level 30, Square gave me another 15 days, so 1-5, so I have 45 days of free time, and they give you 1,000,000 gil when one of your classes hit level 30. That is a respectable thing for Square to do, to stop selling the game for a short period of time in order to, you know, let their current player base, you know, be able to handle what they're doing at the moment, and then start to move things along once they manage to build up a few more servers, a bit more space. The last thing you want is for your current players to start complaining about things and then for them to move away. So honestly, I like legit respect Square for them doing that. Artistry, not something that I'm a fan of either, to be honest. Thorn and Zorn. I'm imagining that that's what their names are. But I feel like we were going to learn that. I feel like we're going to learn that very quickly. Interesting. Oh yeah, actually, you know what? Oh right, Thorn and Zorn. It's been way too long since I played Final Fantasy IX, if I'm being honest. Way too long. What was it, 2012 I think was the last time I played it? I really should play more recent. If I do, I'll probably end up streaming it, I feel like. Because I loved Final Fantasy IX when I played it. Actually, I completely forgot Alpha Note is really, really good at drawing people. How could I have forgotten? FF9 though, yeah, I really should get back to that. I think I've still got in my inventory, I've still got Alpha Node's drawing of Yugiri and Gosetsu. I still have that in my inventory, because while housing isn't available yet, I want to put that up on like my wall, to be honest. That would be great.
The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed
The
place.
narrator makes it seem like a really, really bad place, but then again, yikes.
Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days.
This whole idea of end of days, living it out in like a luxury place, reminds me of Snow in Lightning Returns. That's probably one of the first things that it reminds me of.
They seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Oh, actually, come to think of it, before I forget, there are... it's not going to come up until I go back. Oh well. I'll do that shortly. I just forgot there's a couple of side quests I should probably do while I'm here. not here rather, but like outside this area to get to tune the ether currents. A couple of side quests. Oh, we'll get to it. Bureau of Immigration, first room to the left side. Okay. I don't know, something feels very suspicious when you say, yeah, you gotta do something in a real loud voice. Yep. Looks good. I've seen a lot of like super interesting places in Final Fantasy XIV so far, and one of the places that well, I've been trying to like decide in my mind what constitutes like my favorite location in the entire game, and so far, and I don't think it's gonna be beaten, but I could be wrong about this, is Matoya's cave. I feel like I'm not gonna... I don't think I'm gonna be able to see a place that hits harder for me than that, if I'm being honest. Yeah? Because that place, man, it reminds me of the exact same location from Final Fantasy 1. The cave itself, the brooms moving around by themselves, Matoya and a crystal ball. Yeah, her home. And the thing that hit me the most, the thing that I liked the most was the music, was a remix of the exact same song, but a lot slower. Like it hit emotionally. Amazing vistas. I've definitely seen some pretty good vistas so far. But I feel like if it doesn't, like, I feel like it's the nostalgia of the music being so slow and emotional that got me the hardest. So it would have to be pretty, like, solid to get up there. But that's not, but again, that's like way ahead as like my favorite location so far. Like, way ahead. For someone like me who's played Final Fantasy 1 a few too many times throughout my childhood, like, it just felt so good to sit through. I kind of just sat near Matoya and just listened to the music in the cave. It felt great to listen to. Thanks, Death Hollow, for the follow. That rhymed. Oh, God. Oh, why did that get me? As soon as I said that and I noticed it rhymed, I was like, oh god. Ooh. But yeah. I'm very much looking forward to like what more the story has to bring. Because the story's been very solid so far. And I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of this game than I would any other MMO. In saying that, I don't really play many MMOs, to be honest. We are now officially licensed artist and assistant. Well, I suppose I'm the assistant. Here we are. I wonder what kind of what kind of raids we're going to see and all the rest of it. It's gonna be interesting to see like what the designers, because boss fights themselves tell an entire story of like the way in which they act. There's some story related elements. The mechanics themselves is probably a better way of putting it. Artist assistant to be employed into. Ooh. Now, who is this Chai couple? I'm interested. Okay. She's got a keen nose. I don't know what she might be up to, but... Well, that's mean, I suppose. Miasma of dust and sweat. We're probably covered in the blood of all the monsters that we've killed up until now. I feel like taking a shower is definitely not something that we've done yet. Though, to be honest... Oh. Then I'm gonna put like a question out to you, Death Hollow, because you say that the duties, trials, and raids are really good. Would you say that the other trials in the game were just as good, or like is this just kind of like next level? I guess that's probably what I'm wanting to know. Is like, because I feel like they've already done a lot with the trials and stuff. Like I feel like they could do so much more, but then at the same time, if they like do it a lot more, then I don't know, does it feel too gimmicky to have those sorts of moments in some trials where you're like, okay, where you have like very particular instant death mechanics, or but then again, now that I think about it, instant death mechanics only really exist in savage raids and some savage raids. What else did they? They also existed in like other boss fights in between, I guess. Apply a sweet smelling perfume. Oh, perfume must be in here somewhere, right? No. We're within the circle. You know, they've got water running all the time. I worry for their water bill, to be completely honest. And I don't know if that's even a legitimate concern for them. In saying that, like, I saw the moat area, well, it's more like an ocean around, where it almost felt like as if the entire ocean was completely, what's the word, polluted around just this singular area that's supposed to be the greatest place ever. Which is a weird way of putting it. ARR weaker, Heaven's Ward nailed, and Stormblood added a lot. That's fair. Because I think with adding duties, it's like, how many duties are normal duties? How do they make things more difficult? If they made like a hard mode version, or an or a savage mode version, because like binding coils was probably like the best duties in ARR for me, because of like how interesting the story was behind it, and I kind of wish that in actuality that it had that it actually had something to do like with the MSQ. Like I wish it was part of the main story, not necessarily the difficulty of the fights, but rather the actual story content, because it genuinely does add a lot. And I feel like a lot of people are skipping out on it unnecessarily. Actually, wait, hold on. Why do I feel like I'm completely missing it out? Both the final story duty and the specific class. I suppose, you know, getting all complicated is well and good, as long as it like feels like it's adding more. Then again, that's practically what I'm saying, I guess. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm like completely missing something here. Oh wait, it must be in my inventory or something. Okay, I'm an idiot. God damn it, how did I miss that? Now don't worry, Death Element, I'm looking forward to what the duties are going to bring. I'm actually kind of excited, like, to jump in. In saying that, I'm usually not too confident in, like, in doing some of the higher level stuff. Though, I suppose, if it's part of the MSQ, it's got to be of adequate, it would be of adequate difficulty. What would Estinian say? This will be perfect. Good gods, you will mention nothing of this. It's okay. Oh, that's a good reaction. That's a good reaction. I don't know, Final Fantasy XIV hits different in a way that any single player Final Fantasy has so far, where it actually, like, you know, blends into nostalgia with a lot of different things, whether it be the whole, like, at the beginning, when you first meet the Scions, and the password is Wild Rose, which came from Final Fantasy II, which was the password for the Corinthians. Like, there's some wild stuff, honestly. And it's exciting. I guess I haven't been playing this game for like a month and a half for nothing without being absolutely excited to see what's next, what's going to happen, where they're going to take things. So I'm definitely not disappointed by jumping in because of the story, and the whole new data center that was made just kind of got me into that mood to jump in and be like, now is the time to start playing, and all the rest of it. Like, you always got to wonder, if an MMO has been around for a while, when is the right time to jump in? And I genuinely think that I've felt like I found the right time to jump in for sure. Too bad the whole road to 80 is going to end at the beginning of patch 6.1, which is an exciting thing as well. I mean, I can't wait now that I'm like, hopefully I'll be able to actually play the content as it drops. Oh, actually, what's this? Special permission is required. Okay. Interesting. Oh, one of the from FF7. Interesting. I'm excited. Honestly, you gave me really hyped, Death Hollow. You are getting me very hyped right now. I'm just like jumping in my chair. So this is a guy. Or this is the couple, rather.
Who's this then?
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Now this.
Ah, you must be the new,
This is gonna be a bit of a worry, because the other guy that we found on the beach got completely dejected by this lot. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
What an adorable boy.
The adorable stuff.
Those pearly cheeks. Oh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers.
She seems
I approve of this one, dearest.
delusional.
I am positive he'll paint us the most delightful pictures.
I mean, one from FF7, one from FF8, and in Walker there's one from FF4. That's interesting, because like immediately when I saw a character like Estinian, I was like, are they going to call him Kane? At some point, I wonder if anyone is going to call him Kane, because Kane from FF4 has the exact same armor the exact same Dragoon armor, and I expect that him jumping around is like his main move.
Yes. Well, as long as he pays better than that talentless wretch we sent back
And
last
many of
week.
the classes, I feel like originally started in FF1 as well anyways. Too bad actually we do have a red mage. I was about to say, which classes do we not have from that game? And of course the whole being able to go from one class and then specialize into another as well.
Wonderful. Welcome to you, more.
I can't wait to see more of him though. I feel like Estinian is a character that we didn't really get to like along with in the Heaven's Ward expansion, but later on we then really came to
Is my assistant.
think of him as like one of our own, as a scion pretty much, and now like I'm excited to see what he gets up to.
Assistant?
Seeing him walk
I've heard
around
of
in the
folk bringing in
shadows.
family members, but this...
We are family in all but name, my lord. Of all people, 'tis she who best understands my work. With her unique insight guiding my hand, the art...
That is
Once the picture has begun,
poetry?
of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than her being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city she has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for her priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on her behalf.
It's funny how we, the main character, are just like a complete mute, but no one finds that to be incredibly weird.
Must have her wish. She shall be free to roam to our heart's content. Isn't that right, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
Cements a lot of fan favorite characters. Ooh, I'm hoping both characters old and new, because I feel like Shadowbringers genuinely was more of a turning point than any other expansion thus far. Time to explore around here. Let's have a little look-see. What have we got? But man, this place makes the Golden Saucer look like... The Golden Saucer looks like the a poor man's golden saucer by comparison, but yeah, looking outside, like you can see like the shipwreck. Well, no, there's okay. I thought that was a rock, no, but that was actually a massive ship just facing upwards. Yeah, yeah. This is a hell of a vista, though. Hold on, can I jump into? No, I can't. Damn. Well, I tried. The initial area that we went into, though, when we started in this expansion, was super bright, like, and like all in the best ways. I mean, in the best ways. Ooh. Like after reading your comment, Death Hollow, like I want to try and keep like as much like talk as little as possible just for now, because like I want to like try and like know as little as possible, because then like it'll be it'll be way more impactful that way. But I do appreciate that, like, you know, returning characters, even those that are only just being introduced now, get more appreciation in the end, and that's cool that you can. Actually, you know what? That's not even just cool. That's absolutely genius that you're able to create characters like that, and be able to then get them to into the status where they're not only well enjoyed, but they get their own moment, and it kind of starts to bring everything together. Like that they, what the heck is this? Poor lad seems to be hanging by a thread right now. But yeah, being able to add characters in one expansion, and then even though you've had all of the story beforehand, to be able to then have them stand out, or to be a standout character, or to add so much more to them, you know, it's something extra special. Actually, come to think of it, 6.1 drops in a couple of weeks. So I don't know if I'll actually be able to finish all of the story in a couple of weeks, because I want to take my time through it. But like every now and again, obviously, I'm going to keep trying to stream it as much as I can, because I am very much enjoying this. What should I say? I feel like the second option has a bit more snarkiness to it. But at the end of the day, rushing through the content, you know, sometimes you'll miss something, and it, you know, you might not have as good of an impact. So it's probably just me to want to, you know, take in as much as possible. And I mean, at the moment, I am going for the platinum on both the PS4 and PS5 versions. So I'm going to be like playing through this for quite some time. So I am by no means in no rush, and I think my 45 days ends in a couple of days. So I think I've upped my game time by about 6 months. So I upped my sub by about 6 months to hopefully be able to, you know, keep playing as much as I want. And if I happen to, I'll be unlikely to drop off in the next 6 months. I'll say that much for absolute certainty. Come to think of it, have I done my leave quest for today? I have, yes. Cool. Just wanted to double check that. But I was about to say, Death Hollow, that certainly is a compliment to say, yeah, Yulmore, it's a place. That's a box quote for this place, I feel like. Definitely a box quote. I would imagine that would be the case if you don't have to worry about like making money, how that affects like your look on things, your view on like how things work. White Oak Footgear Coffer. I think this is going to be a level 70 item anyways. I think I'm all good in that regard. Appears concerned. God, I really should use that as the whole buzzing with activity. Like, I should use that in my like local area, because we've got a building called a Beehive as well. Though for us, it's like that's where our parliament is, pretty much our government and all the rest of it. That's interesting. And I wonder if it was intentional that the person who I'm about to speak to is called Tista B. Bee hives buzzing around. Ha! Absolute gold, let me tell you. Actually, do I? Yeah. I'm sure I'll get that special permission to use this ether right soon enough, I'm sure. The Honeybee Inn. Is that the Honeybee Inn that's from Final Fantasy, what's it called? Was the Honeybee Inn in this game? Because I don't think I visited it in here. Or have I? Okay, now my memory's starting to really play tricks on me here. Honeybee Inn. Two ports or 4 teleports. God, how much must it cost, I wonder? Like 1,000,000 gil? That can't be it. Final Fantasy 14. Honeybee Inn. I'm just trying to refresh my memory here. Oh no, I haven't been yet. I haven't been there yet because housing is not available at the moment at the Honeybee in FF7. Yeah, I was about to say, is it the one in FF7 or are you talking about the one that's actually here? Because I'm pretty sure there must be one in this game as well. With how like one-to-one certain things can actually be. But no, the Honeybee Inn in FF7. Yeah. It was alright. It's kind of hard to say. Because I haven't actually played FF7 Remake. I've only played the original FF7 and that's like a few too many times. Though I do need to play Remake because I'm pretty sure I've got it installed on my PS5 at the moment. Both the PS4 and PS5 versions. I probably should have paid attention to the rules, like a high or low. Guessing game cards are higher or lower than the total of your opponent's cards. The deck holds 9 cards. What, through to 9? Okay. Let's play. Three cards from you, 3 cards from me. Flip over one of yours over, and I flip 2 of mine. Okay. So she's got 7 so far. Their final card could be anything. I've got 6 on my side. Even if I had a 6, a 1, and a 2, the lowest I could have is a 9. She only needs 1 to be higher to even match that. So no doubt I'm going to be higher. Ah, damn. Hers is gonna be low. Nine. I need to get at least a 4. No, at least a 4. What am I saying? 9. God, I'm off on my math. Card counting. That's... Oh, I wish. Alright, so I've got 7, she's got 7. Right. So, odds of her, so... She could still have a 2 to 5, and then... no, actually, 1 and 9, so she's got 10 actually. 10. So any card between 2 and 8. And I've got 7. Any card between 2 and 8. So given if she has 8, 9, 17, obviously 18, I would only need to get 10. So I could get a 2 and an 8, 2 and an 8. I've got a 7. 530k I could play. And that's what we call what am I saying? That's called overthinking it. So I am going to call, mine is going to be, it's interesting because this could go either way, so I'm going to call high. I'm going to say that mine is higher. Yeah. It was like just seeing what numbers do we have left, what are the odds. Let's see if like what it's going to be like in my one more win and then we'll talk about that favor. Okay, we're going another round. I feel like she makes it too easy by flipping 2 of her cards over rather than me flipping 2 of mine. But then again, I feel like it's going to be the same either way. Ooh, okay, so she's got a 7 and a 6. So those are 2 on the upper end cards. That's what happens is when you feel like you've got an idea of what's going on, you kind of get a little bit overconfident and you're just like, I got this, leave it to me, confidence, yeah. Well, I can't say I'm the brimming source of confidence, but in saying that, okay, looking at the situation, so a 7 and a 6, so she's got 13 so far. The odds of her having a 14, which is the lowest that she can have, but she could have a 9 as well. And I've got a 1. Am I higher or lower? I'm gonna call low. I'm gonna call low on this one. Ooh, okay. 7. As long as I have less than 7 with that final card, I'll be good. Yes! Yes! I feel like the moment that third card flipped and I was like, okay, any number less than 7, the odds are in my favor. How can I screw this up? Also with that first guess, I was meant to guess the other way around. I was supposed to guess was I gonna get higher or lower? Instead I was guessing if she was gonna get higher or lower. So I absolutely messed that one up. Oh well. Lord 4-3. Born with power to command. He seems like an interesting fellow. I wonder what he's like. A Than. You see more you say? Yahaha. Peel away the layers of mystery. Down on the mark on the stage. So over here. Do I actually have a dancing mode? I didn't think I did. What do I have as far as emotes go? I don't really emote all that much. Dance. Oh yeah, here we go. Maybe I should have picked a different one. Do I have any other dance ones, or is that the main one? Or am I not high enough? Because it's asking me to go higher. Oh. Still not high enough? Okay. Staircase. Oh, okay. Yep, there's the mark. Right, hold on, can I actually... No, I wonder if I had like my history of like what I've done. Oh yeah. Oh, there's actually 2 spots. I could have gone either way. Oh, let me tell you, I think I've spent a little bit too much time in the gold saucer. That's how you get those, get that good amount of gil. I can already see that solid 1.7 mil just staring me in the face. That's not to admit anything. I am not admitting anything. Just gonna put that out there. Ouch. Interesting. Okay, we've got some solid info. I actually, come to think of it, should I visit... I need to go back to the gold saucer to do the golden cat, the mini cat pot. I feel like I've like turned that into like a daily thing and I've completely forgotten to do that today. I'll do that later on. I'm sure I'll remember. God, I wonder what kind of like what kind of art Alphino is gonna make, where he's gonna like make that hang on wall worthy, if you know what I mean. Oh, here he comes, from the sounds of it. Okay. Let's go with the second option. That seems like the funnier option. Oh, she's trying to dress him up. Not gonna lie though, Alphino, good looking lad. Good looking. As another guy, I would admit that. Though I can't imagine having particularly pointy ears is logistically a good idea for the daily. For the daily by any means. This definitely doesn't look suspicious, you know, trying to like whisper in this very close proximity. Okay, where are we at next? The understory. So we're going down the floor. Come to think of it, I wonder what minion of light I'll get. I'm pretty sure it's been the white mage Oh, I got... Oh, Black Mage. Oh, that looks adorable. God, why does he look so adorable? Well, anyway. Enough for me to say. Yeah, probably not worth jumping from here. I was pretty tempted to kind of just jump, but then considering the amount of damage I'm going to take, it's not going to be worth the hassle. That way, I should pay attention to the actual way. Hold on, what? Wait, so I did go up. Or did I miss like a door? Oh, no, wrong way. Oh. Get rid of the map. I feel like I missed something here. Or maybe the understory is that area that I was in before. And that this bottom area actually isn't. Or rather, hold on, so I'm up here, and then I go down the stairs. Interesting place this is. I mean, there's the board. Ah, staircase, staircase, there we go. See, this is what happens when I get to like a new place, is I don't know where the heck I'm going, and even though it's really obvious, I still somehow managed to find just the absolutely most shocking way to get there without noticing where I'm going. This is the 5 million IQ play that we've just been having with trying to use the staircase about as much as trying to count cards here. Which is also probably why people don't want to be at casinos, but you know what? Yeah, we can take it or leave it. Really. Screw you, staircase. Gravity is my elevator. Right then, so what are we doing here? Gathering information. Gathering information is what I was about to say. What's this? Now what's happening here? Ooh, that's rough. Being forced to sing so much that you lose your voice, and then obviously it's really scary to think what's going to happen. We've already seen what's going to happen if she isn't able to sing. She's going to be tossed out like really bad food. Ugh. That probably could have been worded a hell of a lot better, but you know what? I'll take my chances on that one. We're going to Night Soil Plots. Actually no, I haven't attuned with that Aetherite crystal yet. Glory Gate is where I'm at. Hey, you know what? Close enough. Close enough, I'd say. And we'll go through here. Or do I have to go around? Ah, yes. I'll have to go around. Damn, okay. Path to Glory, and then the Derelicts. It definitely gives you, I agree with you, Death Hollow, like, this introduction is great because it shows you, like, a very stark contrast to, like, what does it mean to live in perfection? And when you do live, like, the sort of so-called perfect life, how badly do those somewhat slight imperfections actually affect you in like the regular? The fact that you can see the slums outside of this rich city, it kind of brings back the whole thing with Alamegan refugees outside Uldar, for instance, which feels like was a long... It actually does feel like it was a long time ago that we kind of looked at that in the story. Lumberneth Road must be cut out. Excised. Well, someone seems to be having an absolute laugh. No matter how bright or vibrant a place can be, wherever there's light, there's going to be shadows. And that's where they try to hide all of that stuff. For all the good that that's worth. I'm gonna put it out there, like, a lot more thought was put into Shadowbringers so far in this short period of time than I feel like I've noticed more than other locations. Granted, there are, like, again, areas of nostalgia, like, in my instance, Matoya's Cave, which I absolutely loved. So much so that I just sat in the spot and just looked around. Just sat on a chair for, like, half an hour just looking around. To have so much thought be put into a single location, like, it's... I feel like I might have, even though I haven't jumped into Alizé's story yet, I feel like I've made a really good choice in picking alpha nodes. In saying that, I'm not going to hop off again because can't be stuffed using the... I was about to say elevator, I said lift, not lift. Elevators and lifts are the same thing, the staircase. I don't know how streamers do it, you know? Like, they talk without needing to think all that much, or not think as much before you say anything, and you just kind of keep going off that train of thought. Without sounding crazy. The guy behind this one wrote the Dark Knight Whistle. Oh wow. So different writers have done each expansion? It would be insane to think that even a single writer could actually keep writing as time goes on with, like, all the expansions. That would have been a crazy thought. But I didn't actually know that, if I'm being honest. Oh wow, okay. I'm looking forward to FF16. Hopefully, you know, it's gonna be good, because I enjoyed Heaven's Ward as well, so... there's, like, no such thing as a weak part of Final Fantasy XIV. I feel like there hasn't really been any part that's particularly weak. It's just been the main story being really good, and then it just going, like, each part just leveling up one after another, reaching that level of ascension with each move from expansion to expansion. It's only been up from the point in which it began. Though I suppose more so with the original release, considering this game came out originally in 2010 as a PS3 and PC exclusive. The only way was going to be up for that, especially. But looking at this one particular free citizen dude, like, it... Actually, you know what? The way you use the word ascension is pretty sus. Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful, but they also serve the purpose to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them unto celestial paradise. This guy is just saying that he's going to send them all to heaven, and that is... Final rapture. Okay, this sounds... Okay, I feel like this entire place is a cult. I can't help but think that, given like everything that I'm hearing now from this one dude. And if somehow everyone shares the same belief, then dude, yeah, that's straight up a cult. But the thing is she going to get killed off? And if she is it gonna be because she's not that blissfully unaware of what is actually going on, the actual machinations behind who people are and why they think the way that they do? Would I even word that as concerning? I don't even know right now. Now, I don't know if I'm like thinking way too much into like all the small pieces, but they could, the way in which the writing has gone so far, I wouldn't be surprised to say that even the smallest thing that I might not have even commented on or noticed could be used as like, you know, a main point later on. So I do want to take in as much as I can as well. But not force myself to, otherwise I feel like it's going to hamper my enjoyment a little bit of this game. And again, I mainly jumped in for the story, so... as I mentioned earlier, like it's delivering on all fronts for me personally right now. But also like the way in which Endwalker is called Endwalker, like I'm curious as to why it's called Endwalker, because it feels like there's a sense of finality to it. But then 6.1 is going to have, it's called A Newfound Adventure, so very much then looking forward to what that looks like then. God, I can only say no less that I am very excited to see what the heck's gonna happen next. Like, but anyway, let's focus on where we're at right now, because I feel like I don't want to get myself too high up in the clouds. But then again, that's all about it. You will learn the very literal reason. And I'm very much looking forward to finding out why that is. The only... Because it's interesting how the current expansion is called Endwalker, but the like Final Fantasy XIV is going to have at least another 2 more expansions. So it's going to be interesting to see like how things continue to keep going. I feel like the future for this game is, or like from the point in which I am now to moving forward, it can only get more interesting. Like, how are they going to do things? What are they going to do? Who are they going to introduce? How are they going to remove some of the people? Like, tie things up and then begin to then allow everything to unfold after that. It's going to be interesting. Holy cow. I mean, he is... I genuinely do hope that, like, I can, like, you know, keep up with the new story arcs moving forward from that point. Affluence and nobility, and overwhelmed the viewer with its boundless beauty, was to commemorate a realistic portrayal. Oof. The sound of someone screaming from above. A villain is on the loose. Okay. Did he get jettisoned out just like the other dude? The artist, I mean. Or was that the lady who can't sing that was jettisoned out? Interesting. I really need to get over my my verbal tick of like me saying like interesting as I like stroke my beard every now and again with my hand. I feel like I do that like way too often. So then sometimes when I say it like too often, it just comes off as disingenuous sometimes. But anyway, moving forward, or up and away, or insert something that involves going ahead with something, or rather. So the entire... Oh, of course this was gonna be like Jabba the Hutt style rich dude.
That's all three.
Well, I mean, at the very least, it's good to see that Jabba the Hutt is actually getting, you know, more work after Star Wars. It didn't really end well for him, unfortunately, but, you know, all things considered. From the looks of it, they must be harpies or something.
By sin eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
By the 12.
Oh, it's that dude.
Kaishia, what happened to you?
Correct me if I'm not Death Hollow, but didn't I just see like wings on that lion, or was I just looking at the like harpy looking chicks instead? Because I feel like I might have actually seen that.
Who are these impudent louts? I don't...
Oh yeah, the lion does have a freaking
Lord Valtryek, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death?
It does have freaking wings. What the heck? I feel like I feel like I want to fight that thing, to be honest. Like that would be interesting. Like that would be cool. I said interesting again. That would be cool. I suppose when they say sin eaters, they're all based off of angels, is what I've seen so far. That's what I've noticed. But in saying that, it will be interesting to see what all of this business is.
You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud.
Oh, pray do explain.
Claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but. Europe is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society. To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony.
Oh, like how someone would do that if you told them to. 100% not 1-to-1 or anything, obviously, angel light thing. Yeah, it's because of the whole light disaster that happened 100 years ago, and that's where the Sin Eaters came from. So far, that's what has been established. That light causes more destruction than darkness did, and all because of the Warrior of Darkness and him kind of just, appearing as a spectral, ghostly encounter when we first arrived. It's honestly like, I do want to know more about like the Warrior. That's exactly what I mentioned earlier about the Warrior of Darkness. I do want to see more of him because I want to know exactly like what happened to this world, and he's the best person to deliver that type of story because he was in the front lines. He was us in this world that we're in now. Because meeting with him and his explanation of like, you're constantly doing everything you're being told to, but you don't have your own will to do it, rather. And then being given nothing but and then just being tossed aside as soon as everything just seems perfect. Like, I want him to lean more into that, and I don't know if we'll ever see him again, but I have a feeling that we will.
To show his contrition.
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Not gonna lie, I feel like I'm leaning too heavily into like theories of like, this is what I'm thinking based on where we're at right now, but let's just see where things kind of end up.
Sin Eaters are part of Yulmore society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether.
Living
So,
ether?
I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide.
So he wants him to commit suicide so that the Sin Eaters can eat, and that's how he's able to keep them from attacking him because they're constantly getting fed.
Still, he could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
I mean, when you know and you kind of hear theories like that's it like hindsight genuinely is 2020, but it's also like you get to see the way in which a person's mind works when you're like, okay, so this is what you're thinking based on all of these things. Like, what is your reaction going to be when you see some things happen, other things not, and just seeing how right you are. Like,
It is true that Kaishir won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by desire to share in your paradise.
it genuinely is like good stuff to be so interested or into something that you have, that much mental investment to be like, it's time to start theorizing what's going to happen, who's going to appear, and all the rest of
cast
it.
him out, I could almost accept, but to humiliate him thus, to demand his very life, is this truly the way of Yulmore?
Oh, everyone's like, bro, what are you doing, Alphino? You're clearly gonna be like asked to jump off as well.
Child, have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours? The guarantee of safety and stability. The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear.
Stick to the rules and you've got nothing to hide. That's
I alone can offer
not completely wrong,
I alone
but
command the
you need a bit of context to make sure that stuff does make sense. But the question is, how is he able to control them? Again, I'm just theorizing here.
Justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
And now he's like playing the leader at the moment.
people call this paradise.
Oh, look at that smug look on his face.
Granted a place in my...
Painting.
How could he be controlling them? I think that he's asking people to... I think he's killing people by asking them to jump off so that they can then be consumed of their ether, because he did say living ether, so I feel like there might be some level of sustenance between when someone dies, turns into ether, but before that ether travels into the rebirth of like a child, which was kind of the explanation between how an Ascian lives versus how a normal person, you know, dies and then is reborn. And I feel like these Sin Eaters actually consume the ether while the dying person is slowly being turned into ether. That's what I'm thinking, is how he feeds them and therefore is able to control them, or I'm missing something important. But again,
An artist!
we'll find out more, I feel like, a little bit later
Of
on.
Yulmore. If I find your art pleasing, then
Oh, he's definitely not. He's not going to find his art pleasing.
who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wound? I told you.
I wouldn't...
to paint
The
me
dude who
a
did survive falling, he at least wasn't crippled. He at least... Oh, actually no. Alphino did heal him. He just washed up onto the shore, so we can't really say for definitively that he was crippled.
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could.
Oh, Alphino, the smack talk. That is a golden line. I feel like this is the apex of like the situation here. This one line just... Man, I want to figure out who I'm going to Google afterwards who the writer is, because this... Whoever the writer is absolutely just freaking A right now.
Can you walk?
I think so.
Bro, what you need is a mirror, not a painting. The horror part was the one that hits the most. Oh yeah, bro, did you just figure it out now?
I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! Then tear out their hearts!
Okay, I knew that it was kind of a joke to call him Jabba the Hutt just because of how he looks, but you know what? He is way more Jabba the Hutt than I've actually realized. This is like turning to like him trying to like turn the main character, you know, these like the main character and Alphino into like sort of, you know, Princess Leia slave collar type stuff here. I feel like the Star Wars comparisons are getting more and more apt on that one. Also, I feel like I'm making Star Wars references now just because of Skywalker Saga releasing today or yesterday. I can't remember when it released. Self-proclaimed capital city. Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me? Like, Y'shtola deserves better than that. Well, I mean, I feel like anyone deserves better than that. No one deserves to be put in the slave outfit and in a chain. Especially by this, like... Especially by this guy. Kashir is really starting to grow on us now a little bit here. Sometimes it just takes a few things sort of here and there. And then out of, what are these two doing here? I feel like what you mentioned, Death Hollow, about like the crazy leadership and everyone being weirdly ignorant. I feel like that's mostly leading to how people can be in general. Of like, as long as you get everything that you want, you can kind of like look away from like all of the nasty stuff, and at the end of the day, you'll kind of get everything that you want. If you find yourself in that position, which it only tends to be a lucky few, and you're more just kind of exacerbates that. Again, the stark difference between the slums outside, the where are we at? The slums outside versus the like the fancy inside of Yulmore, the way in which people are treated. I feel like it's all within the will of the leader, if you will. The will of the leader. I mean, as the leader wills it, I should probably say. Actually, wait, hold on. Crystarium, Rotunda. Okay, I have to go there. The story, so far, as we make like little progress in the story from like event to event, it does seem like things are going a lot deeper than I kind of expected. Either that or I'm overthinking all of this. Oh no. But hold on. Shoot, did I go to the wrong spot because we've got two... of course I did. Emergent Splendor. Hold on. I seem to have overstepped my my teleporting around here. So hold on, where am I supposed to then be? I mean, he's just right there. Let's... Gobu. I'm gonna ride on a Gobu. Hell yeah. The fact that this thing can fly is absolutely insane. And watching him fly, absolutely bonkers. I think I've got a general question for you there, Death Hollow, and like, this is more just like, you can answer with like a yes or a no, because as little detail as possible would be cool, just so I can like learn about it later on in the story. But are there a lot of places that involve like wealth or power in this? Like, are there lots of places like, damn it, what's it called? Yule something or other? Like, other... even the behemoth can just fly. Don't worry about it, he just, you know, waves his hands around and he just flies. Bug it if I know as to how that works, though. Wait, that's Alizé and Emergent Splendor, there we go. But yeah, are there a lot of places that are kind of like rich and fancy looking besides that? Because if there is, then I could absolutely understand the motif being sort of consistent across the board. Because I feel like we're definitely going to be revisiting that place for sure. Ah, the Ocular. So that's what they call it. I appreciate the naming conventions. Oh, pulled to the source, so we can actually go back to our world from here. That's wild. Not a lot, but you get stuff that feels relatively thematically. So, okay. Now, thanks for the answer, Death Hollow. Like, that at least gives me a bit more confidence of like that there is, you know, decent amount of like you know, consistency throughout. Actually, come to think of it, no. First thing tomorrow morning, I'm probably going to end up doing the daily roulette and all of that stuff. So I'm just going to ignore that. No. Actually, no. Wrong one. Not the goblin. I wanted to get Malamo. I was hoping she was going to be on my shoulder, but anyway. Alright, now to meet up with Alizé. Yulmore is the big wealth town, and you don't get any others like it. So I suppose the better way of wording it would be, it's part of the undercurrent. So while we have like the main story, we've got like this sort of slight ideology that kind of comes in every now and again, but keeps things relatively consistent throughout. That's why I'm thinking as far as like theming goes. I feel like I'm thinking about this a lot more, I'm putting a lot more thought into the story of this game than I feel like I do with most of, if not any other games. Armorang. Yeah, I was thinking of the word undercurrent because when I think of the current, like, it just keeps flowing.
From this
It'll come up every now and again, but it's relatively not, it's not visible for the most part.
When I journeyed here,
I feel like I was a little bit more literal when I think about actual waves and currents of like a river.
He told me Armorang meant majestic land in the language of his people. And so it might still be.
Oh, whoops.
Were it not for the light's unrelenting onslaught.
I didn't even notice that. Thanks for bringing that up, Death Hollow. Let me just see if I can find the... See if I can go to... And then back to here. Oh, yeah. Alright, we're back. That, technical issues. What can I say? The cold never fails you. It's cold? Dude, this looks like... It looks like there's grass in the sand. It looks like a desert and yet it's cold. I feel like there's a lot of things that don't exactly work. It's like, it's normally desert places are hot, they're not really cold, and then grass, sure, you can see in like little spots, but I don't see any cacti or anything like that, like any cactuars hanging around or anything. At least not. Oh, you know what? Maybe I spoke too soon. But also windmills? I don't know, is it? Oh, I spoke too soon. What the heck is that? A gigantender. I thought they were just gonna call it like a gigantois or a gigantois. Like a giant. Oh, this armadillo is chasing us. Oh, well and good. I'm ready for battle anyways. I just need some of my carbuncle because I don't know where he went to after. There we go. Not gonna lie, when he said feast your eyes, I mean, the eyes are certainly getting a feast, and ooh, seeing an ether current. It definitely seems like a storm came through, and by all accounts, shitted it the fuck up, by all accounts. Is that, hold on, is that like the spine of something sticking out of the ground on the far end? Clearly, like, this is like Age of the Dinosaurs sort of area, while being in a desert that's cold and not warm, and it just fundamentally feels like everything has kind of been stuffed up as far as like climate can go for a single location. A fortress meant to protect. Well, that did him a fat lot of good, let me tell you about that. Until the flood came along. Ah, yeah, the flood is what they're calling it. I was pretty bloody close to calling it the calamity, but then again, that's what's going to supposedly happen later on. Unless we can do something about it, of course, which I'm sure we're going to, but it's a matter of seeing what we'll need to do for it. Let us press on. I love how the actual objective was just to admire the view. Something about it that just feels good. Now, 28.3... I'll go 28.2, 32.2, 32.2. Here we go. Alright, we're running off now. Oh, hold on, actually. Better yet. Is he still chasing me? Nope. Sweet. Just to stick with consistency, I'm going to use a lizard, because that's what you'd see in the desert. The flood is a good name for it. I feel like the easiest way to call it is like a flood of light. Because there's like such a massive burst of it that it just consumed everything, that it just is overly consuming. The more I just like talk around everything and try to explain everything, the more everything starts to make sense. Now, before I talk to him, I'll just... where's the... Here we go, stairs. Let me just sort myself out here by attuning the etherite. Oh, just double checking to make sure no one is messaging me in the free company. Otherwise, don't wanna ignore people in the free company because everyone's super cool in there. At the end of the, it's not even about like the stuff that I've said really. It's just that like when you think about it, it just seems to add up. Because honestly, like I could keep constantly talking. There's a place called Twitch. Oh god. Why is there a place called Twitch? Oh, it looks like my audio's gone out. Hold on. My game audio. I think just go to. I never know which Yep, we have game audio now. I don't know when that throws up, but yeah. I'm not gonna lie, but most of what I've said, trying to like put things together, I never really thought about. Because like when I try to think about something before I say it, I'll just like think on it way too much before actually saying anything. But if at the end of the day it seems like everything just makes sense, then fair enough. That just shows how good everything is. How everything is, you know, put together and made. Need the details like that when you think about something like that. Exactly, and that goes just... And that exactly goes for like how good everything is. That just shows how much thought, the actual logic behind everything. It's just when it ticks, when you have that snap in your mind and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it just... When that sort of thing hits, then you know you're in good company with some genuine quality as far as things go. I think I'm gonna need to... Oh, actually no, it's right there. I thought I was missing something. Ether current's right here. I can't... You're definitely right, Death Hollow. Like, you have all the pieces, they're so far apart, and you don't realize it. You're absolutely right about that. And then when you finally put things together, you almost subconsciously do it. And there are very few games that actually do that particularly well. And I feel like the only other games that I can think of that even come close to it is the Zero's Escape series, which I absolutely adore. Hold on, wait, 14.6, 14.6, and 16.7, so around... Here we go. But yeah, like... And at the end of the day, like, that sort of being able to put things together subconsciously, it just speaks to the quality. Again, I can only say that over and over, but like, it genuinely does. Like, I've always wondered how can, you know, FF14 get better and better, and yet it continues to do that, and I'm still just stunned thinking to myself, where is this going? And I mean that in like a good way, really. Okay, so I probably need to go from Mordsok to the west of Mordsok, I think. Also, I suppose, like, in addition to like all of the story stuff, the locations again tell their own story. Like we were talking about with crap, my memory is really, really bad. Jesus. With Yormore, how each place kind of feels like it's telling its own story without telling you. The way they're able to, like, you know, this game is able to handle boss fights in a fairly similar manner as well. Looks like I would need to climb up here. Maybe I'll get the ability to do that soon enough. Let's go through a few quests and then I'm pretty sure we'll make our way around. I figured since I just arrived to get the ether currents and then the side quests for getting the rest of them would follow after that. Let's talk to Cassard. And again, it's probably worth mentioning, but because I'm playing the PS5 version at the moment, the haptic feedback is really, really well implemented. Like, I'm using different mounts, but the vibrations of each mount are completely different to each other. Like, you can actually tell when you're using something that's got 2 feet instead of 4 feet, if they're moving faster or slower. It genuinely does feel different, and I feel like I'm a crazy person for saying that, but like, let me tell you, it just, you'll know it until you put it in your hands and you're like, wow, this actually, you know, it does feel distinguishingly different. I mean, even now as I'm walking, I can feel my own footsteps. That might seem annoying, but it genuinely isn't. Let's try Midgard Solmer. It's been a while since I've used it, because I'm pretty sure there's like better mounts that I've got. Glengen. Oh, of course he was going to be, from his name. You could tell he was going to be a kobold. Oh, speaking of kobolds, Garbu's like story was like insanely heart-wrenching as well. I'm just so tempted to call him a kobold, but I'm going to call him a Mord anyways. But he looks very
Master Gengen,
different.
This is the friend of the Exarch I was telling you about.
Maybe because he doesn't have like the sort of mask that most kobolds tend to have, especially in the main story.
Very good, very good. Though friend or no, all are welcome in Mords.
Souk is Mordish for city. As things stand, this souk boasts the largest and busiest marketplace in all Armoreg. You'll find ore from the mines here, of course, but all manner of other things too. Many of them rare.
Oh, a trading city, okay.
As I told you before, not many visit Armoreng by choice, but Mord Souk's a different story. Merchants come from miles around to purchase the relics the Mord dig up.
Interesting. So archaeology is kind of what the Morg do.
Aye, that they do. For Mords do not dismiss the spoils of the earth. We clean them and polish them and reveal to the world their true value. That is why they come here, come from far away, come with much money.
Well, I mean, there is a lucrative prospect into selling, like, you know, artifacts that you find, which people could find useful.
And so our souk is always busy, busy, busy. No such thing as a thing no one needs.
Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
You say that every time, Master Gengen. Some sort of family motto, wasn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if it
Or
was
perhaps
a
a Maud
motto
philosophy,
against all of them.
for which we should all
I
be
mean, for
very
all of them,
grateful.
rather, not against.
Would that everyone was so willing to take in refugees regardless of race or creed. Now then, if you intend to spend any time here, you'll want to gain the trust of the local. And there's a little custom all newcomers are expected to observe.
The
Interesting.
tracking of the
What would
coin
that be?
purse. You buy one thing from the market. Price can be low or high, just as long as you buy.
As the good Maud says. In fact, the Exarch sent a little something to cover this very expense.
Oh, so he
A
actually bought us money?
Verba gold piece, no less. The first I've held in years.
Velvet gold? Real velvet gold?
Oh god.
Here, newcomer, crack your coin purse with me.
Oh no, you want my goods, newcomer? I have jars and pots all smooth and shiny.
This goes back to what the Exalt dude mentioned about the quality of the metal used for currency.
Come and look.
You buy.
Looks like we've attracted some attention here.
Enough of that! Calm, I say! This one must still journey through the barrens. Nothing bulky, nothing heavy, no pots. Nothing better for the road than a full belly. Spend that piece at Ronron's place, yes? Eat for 3 before you leave.
Yeah, I guess when you go for a journey, it's probably good to grab some food, especially when you don't want to lug around anything too heavy. But given how big our inventory is, I'm pretty sure I could carry some pots. Come to think of it, where's my Yeah, I've got a few things sort of here and there. I don't even know what to make use of the dye. I'm just keeping them around. I should probably like put them somewhere, but I'm still waiting for housing to come up so I can just store that stuff away. The middle of a slow apocalypse and everything being lively. That is very neat. I feel like it's all of like how well the characters are. Even though we don't know much about them, the fact that we kind of know the area and what these guys kind of do, in the case of like, you know, this lot in here particularly are all trying to, you know, they're all running a market trying to sell you things. So it just makes sense that they would react in the way in which they did. There's a variety of goods. Inspect each of his exotic dishes, not desires, what I'm saying. Worms, bread, okay. But hold on. Worms. But I feel like many people aren't aware that the world even needs saving at all. And that's the interesting thing about an incoming apocalypse is like the people who are aware are trying to, you know, live their days out till the end of day, or I mean, I guess live their time out till the end of days, but there are also far more people who are unaware of the incoming apocalypse, which then kind of again leads back into the difference in how people live their lives, what they know, and how they choose to, what they choose to do with what they know. Now, what do I want to choose? I'm leaning towards the mush loaf because, not gonna lie, they looked good, but the glazed regulars were a bit. Yeah, I'm putting too much thought into this, aren't I? Let's go with the ever-burning bounty. I wonder if there's gonna be like a recipe for the lizard meat. I could put in my culinary in class and then start cooking them up. I was raised as a good kid who eats every last bit on their plate. Though in saying that, there's probably nothing wrong with sharing if you've got a little bit too much to eat, so... might as well share the rest. No returns. I don't think you want to get back whatever it's going to turn into. Let's just say that much. The number of times you say you're going to borrow food from someone, but then the last thing you realize is, oh yeah, you're going to eat that. Well, whatever you're going to return, probably best not to return it by any means. Come to think of it, do I want to level up my classes in order? Because I want to get my Reaper and Samurai up to 80 as well. I'll just switch to Samurai and just level them up as... actually, I'll focus on Stamina first. I'm getting a lot of gear coffers, not gonna lie. I don't even know what to do with it. Because I've got some excellent gear at the moment thanks to how much like elegant tombstones of the poetics I keep getting. Wait, what's little Nanumo up to? She's just bopping her head around. Absolutely adorable. View market receipt at any time during this quest by using the relevant item in the key item. Okay. Keep away from my private worm stash, I say. Okay, market receipts. Where's my inventory? Tholtol and Thontol. Iron ore and table cactus. Thortol and Thontol. Thortol and Thontol. Another thing I love is like how consistent they kind of keep the overall like naming convention for like each of like the beastmen. So for in the case of like how everyone's got really short names that sound relatively similar as their first and last names go for kobolds. I'm like stopping myself and just thinking like, wait, which way do I go now? Maybe if I go up. Actually, no. Gel. It doesn't look like he's got anything, so... Ooh, what's over there? I see sparkly. No, I'm after Thornton and Tol. Thornton and Tol. Ooh, this Thornton. mill. Oh no, wait. Sorry, it was meant to be collected from Mool Mool. I love the attention to detail. It's always the small things that just really add up. Every little bit. And it makes the whole thing feel so much more special as an overall package. And even if it doesn't hit immediately, I feel like eventually it will. And even if you don't usually play MMOs, I feel like anyone who plays this game will, to some extent, really enjoy it. It just depends on like how far you need to go before it does. It just hits people very, I would imagine it hits people differently. Oh, there's a table over there. Not table, I mean, stack of crated almonds. Yeah, makes sense. I tried. I tried to steal. That didn't exactly work out. Thol told, there we go. So all that's left is Mool Mool, which I'm pretty sure I must have seen him before. I just didn't really notice the name. We need iron ore. Still though, I wonder what like how close are we gonna get before the end of Shadowbringers? How close are we gonna get to what this apocalypse could look like? What the combination, the crashing of two worlds together, what would that look like? And it's not even so much out of morbid curiosity, but rather like, you know, what was the thought behind how that would happen? What's that in the distance? Am I looking in the wrong direction? What's that in the distance? A massive crystal? I'm curious, hold on. Let me go out this way. I'm not gonna lie, I only just noticed this, but is that a mountain that's just highly reflective of light, or is that like a snowy mountain or a crystal? I wouldn't be surprised if that was crystals, because of that area near Mordona as well. I don't know why, but for a moment I just kind of wanted to like... That's a giant crazy wall of crystals. Not gonna lie, I just kind of wanted to stand there and stare for a moment. But then I was like, bad me, I need to, you know, do the task at hand. But yeah, like, I feel like I could have just stood there and just like stared for a moment. Just to be like, you know, it makes you wonder, like, just the kind of painstaking detail that would have had to go into actually making that work. You know, putting that into the game, especially with damn, what's it called? With the way that the one in Mordona looks very different. I suppose similar in idea about having a massive fuck off wall of crystal. Ah, Mool, there we go. I did see him before, I just completely forgot where he was. Yeah, that's true. They were all of the crazy crystal formations were essentially because they had like an insane amount of ether and was constantly reconstructing Bahamut until we went through the coils and turned off his like sort of the corrupted crystals from resurrecting him through. Actually, no, it was the coils that were causing the resurrection of Bahamut, and we went around and started turning them off so that he would never return again, and then that ultimately led into the fight against Bahamut Prince, if I remember right. I can't remember if they were corrupting the ether, because me and a couple of the guys in the Free Company ran through it pretty quickly. But I'm gonna be completely honest, I actually completely forgot about the actual story. Like, I did talk about the story of the coils being really good, but then I realized, actually, you know what? It just makes sense for the very thing that I just said. Or that I was thinking about, rather. I just never really thought that much into it, or put, you know, two and two together. Your efficiency presents a problem. Huh. Ooh. Why does she look a lot like Lise for some reason? On her way to meet with Alize. Okay. Just what exactly has Alize been saying about us exactly? Honestly, like, at the moment, I'm more like, I feel like I'm more thinking about how do you even, like, how do you know that once you've designed a location or an area in a game, that you know that that area is well done? I feel like you would only know unless other people tried it and said, this feels good for some reason. I feel like there's no real way of... Or maybe I'm not, like, five-headed enough to understand, like, what it would be like to design an area in games. To know intentionally that I'm, like... yeah. Crap, I was just, like, reading the comments in the Free Company chat. But anyway... I feel like there's no real way of being able to genuinely tell that you've made a good location in a game. Unless someone told you it was good. Either that, or you gotta have some real confidence in, like, the stuff that you make. It's been a while since I've gotten to battle. Especially since I haven't used my summoner class in quite some time. Last time I used my summoner was probably during the the mainline, not even the mainline story. I think it was before I started the Stormblood expansion. I had already hit level 72 before I hit that story point, so genuinely has been a while. Oh no, is damage being delayed or am I missing something here? Defeat any coyotes. Twitch, snitch, Our Lady's feet. Interesting. I'm going to chalk that up to that's an interesting name. Looks like Tessa and Free Company at the moment is going to do Praetorium again. Now where is the next... I gotta talk to... What's her face again? I feel like I'm gonna hold off on doing like the extra story, so like the Eden storyline, as well as the Omega storylines from the previous expansions until later, because those are similar to the Coils of Bahamut, very much like late game. You really need to understand what you're getting yourself into sort of content. Plus, I think once I've remember there someone just posted a book called Where's Moms Than You, and the cover is a cartoon giraffe kicking a baby giraffe off a cliff super casually. That is hilarious. Remember, there are way worse moms than you, and they're just getting kicked off of a cliff. A giraffe and then a baby giraffe. What the heck? That sounds hilarious. I'm actually gonna look that up afterwards. I'm how much longer am I gonna be streaming for? I think after I'm done streaming, I'm gonna look that up. But that sounds hilarious, but it doesn't sound like it's real. Like that has to be like an April Fool's joke. It's like the book, the children's book. What's it called? Go the fuck back to sleep or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but it was hilarious. Oh, I've already attuned this etherite. I just noticed that Nanamo literally climbed off my shoulder. Or climbed down from my shoulder. That was adorable. God damn, there's something about this, some of these wind-ups that just have so much, again, small details always add up and make the whole thing even better. I mean, I remember seeing these places before, but it seems way more depressing now, looking around. Our first visitor from the Crystarium since Elise arrived. afflicted, and a handful of carers. If a quokka's mom came face to face with a dingo in the wild, guess what? Guess what she'll do to get away? That's right, she'll toss her child. Ordinarily, I'd say you gotta do what you gotta do, but you know what? We'll let the image speak for itself, Death Element. We'll let the image speak for itself. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look this up right now. Let's go. Remember there are way worse moms than you. Okay, hold on. Remember. Is my laptop frozen? No. I hope not. Nope. It's just Chrome that's frozen. Well, that ain't ideal. Remember that there are way worse moms than you. An eagle mom believes in survival of the strong. She lets her little eagles fight until the death. No, you were right, Death. Although I looked up the book title and I came across the Eagle Mom page, and I thought to myself, wow. Well, because the baby eagles were they had boxing gloves on, I think. Hold on, wait, let me just double check that one. Get my facts right. Yeah, they literally have boxing gloves as they fight to the death, while the mother eagle just watches them. Oh, good God. That's... Yup. I 100% agree. She usually goes and takes a look from the watchtower first. Might be able to catch her there. I couldn't tell if that was like a pack of cigarettes or if that was like money. 'Cause I can't find a larger image than that. Because if that was money, that would be a very, very different message that you're sending out exactly. I should get bigger monitors, to be honest. Be like a lot easier to see. Oh God, my butt is sticking to the chair. Jesus Christ. Hold on, let me just stand up for a second. Oof, that's not ideal. All right. Let's head towards where we might find Alizé. This will probably be the last quest that I'll do before... Oh, looks like the game audio's gone bust again. Yep, so this is... Yeah, no, that crystal is absolutely massive. This will be the last quiz that I'll do before I finish streaming for the day. I've been going for about a couple and a half hours, and my butt sweat is starting to cause my cheeks and chair to irreparably stick together for some reason. Because normally I actually don't game sitting down. I actually move around a lot. Like I walk around a lot. And as of now, I've done about 20,000 steps today. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's the end of the day now. The time is literally on the top right. That's wild. But yeah. Ooh, ouch. This is like, if I were to like put a subtitle on what's happening in this quest right now, I'd say that the hunter is searching for their prey. That seems like the kind of situation you'd see on like National Geographic, of like the hunter looking for like the footprints of like, you know, their prey, just being like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a good dinner today. Around the west. Okay. I'm gonna stick to the wall on the left, or the massive structure on the left, just so I don't attract too much unwanted attention. What the heck is that thing? It looks like a mummy. I feel like no matter how much I look at this massive crystal, nothing will do it justice for just how massive it is. I feel like the Southern Hill of Amber is just amber crystals with which to kill and devour for lunch. Wait, hold on. Let me read your last comment with a proper voice. And I'm not going to say that my voice acting is any good, but okay. A wild Yugi slowly hunts for an Alizé with which to kill and devour for lunch. I feel like I could have done that a lot better. I don't think that sounds all that much different from me normally talking, but I feel like that's the kind of thing you'd expect to see. Ooh, looks like Nay is also doing some work here, innit? Ah, I'm under attack. Actually, you know what? Gil, man. He needs to chill, man. Looks like me and that other guy, the other person's pretty much at the same point of the story. Interesting. How you can do like the quest in perpetuity with others. But man, that massive crystal.
Get back here!
That voice.
Is that... It can't be.
I was hoping that she wasn't going to get distracted, but... You know, when you have just now realizing there's buildings and stuff sticking out of it, it makes you wonder how that stuff even got there, to be honest. It makes you wonder, like, where did the crystals come from in such a way that the buildings are sticking out of it, and just how massive it is.
I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner. How are you?
Okay, that was a wild chain of events. The fact that she was like, I was pretty sure she was like way too distracted and probably nearly like went face first into the stand instead of feet first, but you can never keep an Alizé down, let me tell you.
The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then.
I think Alizé might find it at least good to know that time passing there is significantly slower by comparison than it is in this world here.
I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least.
Interesting. So that's kind of like where everyone's at least lightly speaking.
When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision. He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal. But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims.
Like, I'm gonna be real, I don't want to know what it would be like for me to die in the future. I'd rather never know that, because if I were to prevent it, then what's not to say that something is going to happen sooner that's going to kill me, or that I'm going to die in a significantly more horrible way than what was predicted. So sometimes it might not be ideal to know what's going to happen in the future.
The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation.
Just around the water cooler at work, talking about, you know, the next destruction of the entire world, or the fact that I'm going to die, you know, casual conversation, if you will.
I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the first from the Sin Eaters. That great wall of white is a remnant of the flood.
Oh.
100 years ago, the balance in the first tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam.
So, in theory, that is actually not... It looks like crystals to us, but on the world, it's just a massive crystal zit. It's a massive zit on the face of the world.
A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrent was spared.
I wonder if you were to pop a zit that massive, should anything that's inside of it start flowing outwards. Not flowing, gushing outwards. There are people that absolutely love to pop zit, but that's... Okay, maybe I know a few too many people that are like that. Ugh.
For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects.
And the reason why I think that it's more like a zit is that it may have been small to start off with, but it slowly accumulated, gradually got bigger, and the buildings that are sticking outside of it were cities that were, this is it, a more majority of the planet. That's true. That's true. What would you even call that then? What's something that's like covering majority of something? I feel like I'm thinking of it more in the way of like the way in which it contained a lot of something, but it's gotten so big that it's like you can't ignore it. It's almost like a second face.
But when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down.
But that makes sense.
Then they either perish or are warped into mindless abominations.
Wait, so you're not saying that that's...
Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the flood.
Okay, so that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. Then how was Jabba the Hutt able to control the guys if they're mindless?
Once the changes
That's the one word that's got me thinking.
In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach.
Which then, what Alizé just said, just feeds back into my theory. Light ether came rushing so hard it acted like a tangible liquid. That's exactly why a name like the Flood works so well to name this entire disaster.
They are creatures of base instinct that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason, which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them. The infirmary is full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
I feel like my theory, like I mentioned about how, yeah, like I mentioned before, Jabba the Hutt is able to control Sin Eaters at the moment. I think he's trying to, like, rather than using any logical method, is feeding them with ether to keep them in check or to keep control of them. The afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society and exiled to the edge of the world. The only good thing I have to say about the hellish place is that it served me well as a training ground. Keeps them so well fed that they don't try to hunt. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And then that kind of leads into the whole idea of how that entire location was all about making things as easy as possible. Bringing people in that are less fortunate and aren't able to live, giving them an opportunity, and if they fail, feed them to the dogs, or make them jump off and then feed them to the dogs. We just happen to see that one dude end up surviving, albeit barely though. But you got to imagine how rare, how much of a coincidence that would have been to have seen some poor fella, that poor fella just like wash up onto the beach, because those Sin Eaters could have just come down and ate the poor guy. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure we did fight Sin Eaters when we walked up to him. Which means that's what their intention was. Now I mean, that's like my theories are now just gushing out all in one go from just like a few lines of like what Alizé just said. That is... I mean, I could keep going on and on about what I think right now, but I feel like part of the fun is also then going through it and actually experiencing what we've got here. Nah, there aren't much better titles, to be honest. Anyway. I'm probably just going to leave it at that. I'm going to end the stream here, but I am very much looking forward to seeing how things move forward. And of course, like, as things move forward, I'm going to keep streaming them as often as I can. But yeah, I feel like I'm onto something with, like, some of these theories and all of that. When am I streaming next? I was going to stream tomorrow, but I'm going to be mowing the lawns, and that's going to take a few hours, so... If not the same time tomorrow, it'll be the same time the day after tomorrow. I mean, it's like, it's Wednesday today, so it'll be Friday. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Yeah, so... Yeah, so about the same time Friday, which was like 6 p.m. for me. It's now like, what? What is the time? 9:15. Oh damn, yeah, the time's on the top right hand side of the screen. So yeah, I'll be streaming around the same time in a couple of days. So rather than tomorrow, it'll be the day after. And like, I'll have made some progress in the story, so hopefully we'll see how things play out. Nearly 5 a.m. for you. Well, you do need to have some rest there, Death Hollow, but I appreciate that you still stuck around for the stream, to be sometimes you wonder, like, you could, there might be better things, that you could be doing rather than watching me, but I appreciate that you stuck around for this entire time. Hopefully, next time I stream, it'll be during a better time, but, you know, whenever you do have free time, that's the only time you really can stream. So hopefully, when I do stream, like, say, next week, it'll be at, like, an earlier time than when I did it now. But anyway, in saying that, yeah, I'm gonna end it here, and I'll stream hopefully the day after tomorrow, and we'll see where this leads. So I'll see you next time. Peace.